Hello, third grade. Welcome to reading. Today we are continuing with our story elements. So far we've gone over character, setting, and plot. Today we're going to go over problem and solution. And so let's get started. So let's quick review everything. Remember, our characters are the people or animals that act in the story. The most important characters in the story are our main characters, and everyone else is a minor character. And so the main characters, the story follows them, and we read about what they do. So then our setting, and make sure to take notes as we go along. These should be in your notes, so let's take our notes that we have taken for last week and this week, and then we are going to add a little more at the end. So let's go over our setting. Our setting is when and where the story takes place. So remember, the setting can be more than one scene or more than one place, and it's the events where everything happens. So for example, in the story, The Little Red Riding Hood, which we've talked about, the setting is a forest, but some of the story happens on the path in the forest and some inside the grandmother's house in the same forest. So the story can be multiple places. So let's continue with our plot. So the plot is what we introduced this week, is the events that happen in the story or what the main characters do. The plot of a story is often told in the order that the events happen. So remember, we could talk about what happened at the beginning, the middle, and the end. In the beginning, usually we're introduced to our characters and our setting. In the middle is usually where we have our plot, what's happening in the story. And at the end, the end is usually where we have our solution. So the plot and the problem are kind of in the middle, and the end we have our solution. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, is our problem and solution. So take out your pencil and notebook with our new notes today. The problem, which we've introduced before, so this should be a little bit of a review as well. The problem is something that goes wrong for the characters, or something that needs to be fixed or changed. The problem, or conflict, in a story often causes the characters to take action. So after there's a problem, the characters have to do something to fix the problem. So hand in hand, when you have a problem, you also need a solution. So today we're going over solution as well. The solution is how this problem in the story is solved. The solution, sometimes called the story's resolution, is what wraps the story up, is how they solve their problem. So that's usually in the end. So we have, in the beginning, we're introduced to our characters and setting. The middle, we have our plot and our problem. And then at the end, usually we have our solution. So we're going to read the same story that we read on before when we went over our plot. We're going to be reading again the Three Little Pigs. And now we're going to add the problem and the solution to the story. So we're going to read it just to review, to make sure that we remember it. And then we'll go over all of our story elements of this story. All right. Long ago, there lived a mother pig who had 3 little pigs. The mother pig was very poor, and at last she had to send her pigs out to seek their fortunes. The first little pig that went away met a man with a bundle of straw, and he said to him, "Please, man, give me that straw so I can build me a house." The man gave the straw to the little pig. Then the pig built a house of straw and lived in the house. By and by, a wolf came along and knocked at the door of the little straw house. Little pig, let me come in," called the wolf. "No, not by the hair of my chinny chin. I'll not let you in," answered the pig. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in," said the wolf. So he huffed, and he puffed, and he blew the house in. Then he chased the little pig away. The second little pig that went away met a man with a bundle of sticks, and he said to the man, "Please, man, give me your bundle of sticks so I can build me a house." The man gave the sticks to the little pig. Then the pig built a house of the sticks and lived in the house. By and by, the wolf came along and knocked at the door of the little house of sticks. Little pig, let me come in, called the wolf. No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. I'll not let you in, answered the pig. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in, said the wolf. So he huffed and puffed, and he blew the house in. Then he chased the little pig away. The third pig that went away met a man with a load of bricks, and he said, Please, man, give me your load of bricks so I can build me a house. The man gave the bricks to the little pig. Then the pig built a house with the bricks and lived in the house. At last, the wolf came along and knocked at the door of the brick house. Little pig, let me come in, called the wolf. No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. I'll not let you in, answered the pig. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in, said the wolf. So he huffed, and he puffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, but he could not blow the little brick house in. What's going to happen next? The wolf rested a few minutes, and then he said, Little pig, will you just let the tip of my nose in, said the wolf. No, said the little pig. Little pig, will you just let my paw in? No, said the little pig. Little pig, will you just let the tip of my tail in? No, said the little pig. Then I will climb up on the roof and come down through the chimney, said the wolf. But the little pig made the fire very hot, so the wolf could not come down the chimney. So he went away, and that was the end of him. The little pigs then went and fetched his mother, and they still live happily in their little brick house. The end. All right, so that is our story from today and the other day. So let's talk about our characters as a quick review. Our characters in the story. Remember, our main characters are the little pig and the wolf, right? Without them in the story, our story follows what the three little pigs are doing and what the wolf are doing. Without them in the story, it'd be a completely different story. But we still have other characters in our story. We have our minor characters. Remember, the mom and the man who gave them the straw, sticks, and bricks. So remember, those were our smaller characters. They didn't play a big role, but they were still in the story and interacted with our main characters. So now let's go over our setting. So our setting is when and where the story takes place. So where does the story take place? We went through the forest, and through the forest we went to a brick house, a straw house, and a stick house. So we know during our story we had 3 different houses where the wolf went. So that would be our setting, where the story takes place, where our characters are. And then our plot, so the story of events, the sequence of events, So remember, this is our plot, what happens in the story in the correct order, because we want to make sure it's in the correct order. If I said they live happily ever after, all in a brick house at the top, it would get confusing. So the first thing that happened in our story is the 3 little pigs went out to get their own fortune. And then our main events that happened, our main plot, was they build houses. So one made a straw house, one made a stick house, and one made a brick house. And the wolf was trying to blow them down. And the wolf did blow down the straw house. The wolf did blow down the stick house. But the wolf could not blow down the brick house. So as we can see, these are our events. And then the last plot, the last event that happened was they lived happily ever after, all in the brick house. So as we can see, this is what happened at the beginning, the middle, and this is what happened at the end. So now we have to think, what problem did they all face in this story? So the problem that kept happening was The wolf was blowing down and destroying the pigs' houses, right? That's a problem. That's something, after that happened, the pigs had to take action. They had to do something, or else their houses would get destroyed and the wolf would keep chasing them. So that was our problem, and that came at the middle of our story, was when the problem was introduced. So now with our problem, we need a solution. So how did they fix the problem of the wolf blowing down their houses? They had one of the pigs built a house out of brick, and the wolf couldn't blow that down. So that's how they solved their problem, their solution. Then when the wolf tried to go through the chimney, the pig made a hot fire and the wolf left, because the wolf couldn't go down the chimney or else he'd catch on fire. So that's showing how we solved our problem. And that was at the end. So remember, in the beginning, we're going to be introduced to our characters and our setting. And in the middle, we're going to be more introduced to our problem and our plot. And then at the end, we will have our solution. So I want you today to, again, pick a book on Epic or pick a book from home. Remember, Epic is only available from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. So it's after 3 p.m. and you're watching this. Find a book, one of your favorite books at your house, but pick a different book than you read when we did our plot. And I want you to go to Edmodo, and I will post a quiz with asking about the plot, characters, setting, solution, and problems in the story you read. All right. Thank you, and have a good rest of your day.